Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that you are doing really, really well, Virgo. So, let's talk about what's been stirring in your awareness lately because there's something you've been feeling but maybe haven't been able to name. This sense that something is building, that something is shifting, that the energy around you is changing in a way that feels significant. And I know you've been trying not to get ahead of yourself, trying not to read too much into things, trying not to create stories or expectations or hopes that might leave you disappointed. But your intuition, it's picking up on something. And that's why you're here right now. There's someone in your awareness, and you know who this is. You feel it when I say it. This person who occupies space in your thoughts, in your heart, in your energy field. This person who matters to you in a way that's deeper than casual, in a way that's real. Does this resonate with what you've been sensing? Let me know in the comments. Here's what I'm noticing in your energy right now. You're in a space of anticipation, not the anxious kind, not the desperate kind, but the kind where you're aware that something is moving, that something is coming into form, that the silence or the distance or the uncertainty, it's about to shift. And I'm not here to tell you exactly what that looks like. I'm not here to put words in anyone's mouth or predict specific outcomes. That's not what this is about. This is about what you're feeling. This awareness that someone is processing something deep, that someone is arriving at clarity, that someone is moving through their own internal journey and coming to a place where they're ready to express something they haven't been able to express before. And you've been sensing this in the energy in your body, in the way you think about this person. There's a readiness in you too, a kind of openness, a willingness to hear, a space that's been created through your own growth and healing. You're not the same person you were months ago. You're not operating from the same fear or need or desperation. You've done the work. You've become someone who can receive without collapsing, someone who can hold space for honesty without losing yourself in it. And that that's everything, because what's coming, whatever is about to be expressed, you're ready for it, not because you need it, but because you're strong enough to hear it clearly. Have you been feeling this shift in yourself, this readiness? Let me know if this speaks to you. Now, I want to talk about something important. When someone is preparing to express something real, something vulnerable, something that's been sitting inside them for a while, there's a process that happens, an internal process, a reckoning with their own fear, their own resistance, their own stories about what might happen if they speak their truth. And this person, they've been in that process. They've been sitting with something, wrestling with something, trying to find the courage, the clarity, the right moment to say what needs to be said. And it's not because they're weak. It's not because they don't know what they feel. It's because what they feel, it's big, it's real, it's vulnerable. And expressing it means risking something. It means being seen. It means potentially being rejected or misunderstood or met with something other than what they hoped for. So they've been carrying this, holding this, waiting for the internal alignment that makes expression possible. And that alignment, it's coming, it's forming, it's almost here. But here's what I need you to understand. Whatever this person expresses, however they choose to communicate what's been building inside them, it's not your job to manage their vulnerability. It's not your job to make it easy for them. It's not your job to immediately reciprocate or validate or give them what they're looking for. Your job is to listen, to receive, to feel what's true for you, and then to respond from that truth, not from obligation, not from guilt, not from the pressure of someone else's emotional exposure, from your own center, from your own knowing, from your own clarity about what serves you. Does this feel aligned with where you are? Let me know in the comments. Here's what I'm sensing about this person specifically. They've been holding something back, something that feels too vulnerable to say, something that exposes them, something that reveals the depth of what they feel for you. And for a while, that felt safer. Keeping it inside felt like protection, like control, like a way to avoid potential pain or rejection or disappointment. But that protection, it's becoming more painful than the risk, the weight of not expressing, the heaviness of holding back, the cost of staying silent. It's becoming too much. And they're reaching a point where they can't hold it anymore, where the truth is demanding to be spoken, where the internal pressure is greater than the fear of external consequences. And what they need to say, it's about how they feel. It's about what you mean to them. It's about the recognition that you're not just someone in their life. You're someone significant, someone irreplaceable, someone they don't want to lose. And they're preparing to express that in their own way, in their own time, with their own words. But the essence, the core, the truth underneath the specific language, it's this: they see you, they value you, they feel something for you that's deeper than they've been able to show, and they're ready to let you know that. Have you been sensing this build up, this emotional intensity around this person? Let me know. Now, I want to be really clear about something. When someone expresses something vulnerable, when someone tells you what they feel, when someone opens themselves up to you, it can be incredibly moving. It can touch something inside of you. It can create a softness, an opening, a desire to meet them in that vulnerability. And that's natural, that's human, that's beautiful. But here's what I need you to remember: someone's honesty about their feelings doesn't obligate you to anything. Someone's vulnerability doesn't mean you have to match it or mirror it or immediately give them what they're asking for. You're allowed to receive their truth. You're allowed to feel whatever you feel about it. And you're allowed to take time before you respond with your own truth. You don't have to have all the answers in the moment. You don't have to know exactly how you feel or what you want or what this means for your relationship. You can say, I hear you. I receive this. I need time to sit with it. I need space to feel what's true for me. And that's not being cold. That's not being difficult. That's not being ungrateful for their vulnerability. That's being honest. That's being responsible to yourself. That's being someone who doesn't make decisions from emotional overwhelm or pressure or the desire to make someone else feel better. You deserve the space to feel clearly, to think clearly, to choose clearly. Does this resonate with you? Let me know in the comments. Here's what I'm noticing about the energy between you and this person. There's a reciprocity that's been missing. There's been an imbalance. Maybe you've been the one who's been more open, more expressive, more willing to be vulnerable, and they've been guarded, protected, careful. And that's created a dynamic where you've been carrying more of the emotional weight, more of the risk, more of the exposure. And now that's shifting. They're recognizing that. They're becoming aware that you've been the one showing up, the one being real, the one being brave. And they're ready to match that, to meet you there, to show you that they can be vulnerable too, that they can be real too, that they can be brave too. And that matters. That's significant. That's a shift in the dynamic that could change everything. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Is this shift enough? Is their willingness to finally be vulnerable? Is that sufficient? Or do you need more? Do you need consistency? Do you need proof over time that this isn't just a moment of emotional intensity, but an actual transformation in how they show up? And only you can answer that. Only you know what you need, what you deserve, what you're willing to accept, because someone telling you what they feel, that's step one. That's the beginning. But it's not the whole journey. Words need to be backed by actions. Vulnerability needs to be sustained. Expression needs to be followed by demonstration. And you're allowed to wait for that. You're allowed to require that. You're allowed to say, I appreciate your honesty. I value your vulnerability. And I need to see how this translates into actual behavior before I fully invest. That's wisdom, that's discernment, that's self respect. Have you been thinking about this? About what you actually need? Let me know. I want to talk about the specific nature of what this person is preparing to express, because it's not just casual, it's not just surface level, it's not just, I think you're great, or I like spending time with you, or I appreciate you. It's deeper than that, it's more vulnerable than that, it's more exposing than that. This is someone acknowledging that what they feel for you, it's love, real love, not the infatuation kind, not the convenient kind, not the kind that's easy and comfortable and safe, the kind that's uncomfortable, the kind that requires them to be seen, the kind that asks something of them, the kind that challenges them to show up differently than they have been. And they're realizing that, they're sitting with that, they're preparing to name that. And when they do, when they express what's been building inside them, it's going to land, it's going to be real, it's going to create a moment of clarity between you. But here's what I need you to hear. Their love for you, as real as it might be, doesn't automatically mean anything about what you should do. It doesn't automatically mean you should soften or open or give them access or meet them where they are. Their love is their experience, their journey, their truth, and your response. That's yours. That's your experience, your journey, your truth. And those two things, they don't have to align perfectly. They don't have to match. They don't have to create an immediate union or resolution or happily ever after. You're allowed to hear that someone loves you and still have questions, still have needs, still have standards that need to be met before you fully engage. Love is important, but it's not everything. It's not the only thing that matters. It's not the only thing you need to make a decision about someone's place in your life. Does this feel true for you? Let me know in the comments. Here's what I want you to sit with as you prepare for this moment. You are not responsible for managing someone else's emotional experience. You are not responsible for making them feel safe in their vulnerability. You are not responsible for giving them the response they hope for just because they've been brave enough to speak their truth. You are responsible for being honest, for being present, for being true to what you actually feel, not what you think you should feel. And that honesty, it's the kindest thing you can offer, both to them and to yourself. Because if you respond from obligation or guilt or the pressure of someone else's vulnerability, you're not actually honoring them. You're not actually honoring the connection. You're just managing discomfort. You're just avoiding the messiness of real honesty. And that doesn't serve anyone. So when this moment comes, when this person expresses what they've been holding, I want you to breathe. I want you to listen. I want you to feel what's true in your body. And I want you to trust that whatever response comes from that place, it's the right one. Even if it's not immediate, even if it's complicated, even if it's not what they hoped for, even if it's uncertain, your truth matters. Your feelings matter. Your needs matter. And you don't have to sacrifice any of that just to meet someone else's vulnerability with the response they're hoping for. Have you been preparing yourself for this kind of honesty? Let me know now. I want to address something else. There's a part of you that's been waiting for this, a part of you that's been hoping for this, a part of you that's wanted to hear that you matter, that you're seen, that what you bring is valued, that you're loved. And that part of you, she's allowed to feel excited. She's allowed to feel hopeful. She's allowed to feel soft and open and receptive. But there's another part of you, a part that's been built through experience, through disappointment, through learning what happens when you give too much too fast, when you trust words without waiting for actions, when you open yourself fully before someone has proven they can hold you properly. And that part of you, she's cautious, she's discerning. She's not so easily moved by someone finally saying what they should have been showing all along. And both of those parts, um, they're valid, they're important, they're part of your wholeness. So you don't have to choose between them. You don't have to silence one to honor the other. You can hold both. You can be both soft and boundaried, both open and discerning, both receptive and protective. That's not contradiction. That's complexity. That's wisdom. That's being a whole human navigating real connection. And when this person speaks their truth, when they express what they've been holding, and you can meet them from that wholeness, from that complexity, from that place where you're not collapsing into either complete openness or complete protection. You can just be present, aware, feeling whatever you feel, and responding from that truth. Does this feel aligned with who you are right now? Let me know in the comments. Here's the last thing I want you to consider. This moment, this expression, this vulnerability that's coming, it's significant, it's real, it's a turning point. But it's not the end of the story. It's not the resolution. It's not the place where everything suddenly makes sense and falls into place. It's a beginning, a new chapter, a shift in the dynamic. And what happens after, that's what really matters. That's where you'll see if this vulnerability is a one-time thing or if it's the start of a sustained shift. That's where you'll see if words translate into actions. That's where you'll see if someone's love for you is just a feeling or if it's a commitment to showing up differently. And you don't have to rush that process. You don't have to decide everything in the moment of their expression. You don't have to have all the answers immediately. You can take your time. You can watch. You can observe. You can see how they move after they've spoken their truth. You can see if their behavior matches their words. You can see if their consistency matches their intensity. And based on that, based on what you observe and what you experience and what you feel, you can make decisions. Real decisions, informed decisions, decisions that honor both the possibility of what could be and the reality of what actually is. That's not being difficult. That's not being demanding. That's not being closed off. That's being wise. That's being responsible to yourself. That's being someone who's learned from experience and refuses to repeat patterns that didn't serve you. So, whatever is coming, however this person chooses to express what they feel, meet it from your power, meet it from your clarity, meet it from your knowing that you deserve more than just words. You deserve actions. You deserve consistency. You deserve someone who shows up for you the way you've been showing up for yourself. And if they can do that, if they can match their vulnerability with sustained presence, then beautiful, then something real can grow. And if they can't, if this is just a moment of emotional intensity without follow through, then you'll know that too. And you can make decisions from that knowing. Either way, um, you're okay, you're whole, you're complete, and you're ready for whatever comes next. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting yourself. Thank you for doing the work to become someone who can receive vulnerability without losing yourself in it. You're incredible, you're strong, you're exactly where you need to be. I don't sell futures, I build architects. No predictions, just the raw truth for the tough ones. Stay magic, stay in the now.